Welcome to Living a Sustainable Dream. I'm in the kitchen, and today we're going to be making a Tom and Jerry mix for the holidays. When I first heard of the Tom and Jerry drink, I thought of the cartoon. But about 7 years ago, some friends of ours taught us how to make a Tom and Jerry and what Tom and Jerry is besides the cartoon. It's a really neat holiday drink, much like eggnog. So what I have here is I have my eggs. I have some powdered whey, which is just basically dried whey or powdered milk. And then I have 2 1/4 cups of powdered sugar, and that is a lot of powdered sugar. I also have some pure vanilla flavoring or vanilla extract and a little bit of salt to add for taste. I went ahead and brought out a bowl here because I have to separate the egg whites and the egg yolks. I know there's an easy hack where you can take a plastic bottle and do that, but that's just not my style. I like to do it the old school way. And then of course, I'm bringing out the Kitchen Queen mixer again. So let's go ahead and get started by separating the egg yolks from the egg whites. So what I like to do is I like to grab a knife and have my eggs ready to go. So I got my bowl that I'm going to separate them in. I'm just going to put the egg whites directly into the mixer, and I'm going to leave the egg yolks in this bowl here. So what I like to do is I like to take the knife that I brought out, and I like to go ahead and hit the egg with the back side of the knife, not the front, not the sharp end, but the back side. And I just give it a nice whack, and I kind of cruise around the egg until I complete a circle. And then what I do is I break it slowly open, making sure the yolk does not pour out and all the white does. And then like I do is I pass the yolk to the other half, and I just kind of keep passing the yolk back and forth until all the white is in there. And then I take the yolk and drop it into that bowl, just like so. There's nothing like a farm fresh egg. The shell is usually typically pretty hard, and it leads to a really good, and our friends, if they're watching this of Finicles, I always have great memories when I drink this. Because when we first moved up here, oh gosh, in northern Idaho 7 years ago, we would drink this drink after going sledding down their driveway in the snow at 10, 11, maybe even midnight at night, depending on how late it was. And we would go sledding out there with our headlamps on in the dark, just flying down their driveway, and it was a blast. So here's all these 30-somethings out on the hill sledding, just like kids do when they're aged 10 to 12. It was a hoot. So I got the egg whites in the mixer, and so what I'm going to do is go ahead and flip the mixer on and get it going. There's a little bit of yolk in there, but not much. What I need to do is kind of create almost like a moraine where you have these peaks are going to form inside the mixer. It will be just like the top for a meringue pie. And then once that is formed and those peaks are formed, then I'm going to start folding in the powdered sugar and the dried whey. I went ahead and stirred up the yolks real well, and that's ready to go. And I'm going to grab a spatula, got that ready to go, because you want to fold in the powdered sugar and the dried milk. You do not want to just drop it in that mixer. That is a bad thing. I've done that before. Not good. What it does is it kicks the powder up everywhere, and you have powder throughout your house, in your nose, in your eyes. Yeah, I've done that. Oh, it is close. It's almost like whipped cream. Okay, let's turn it down. Okay, test if it can form a peak. I like to do this with the knife I have. Just kind of go in and Oh yeah. Okay, so it's ready. Okay, now what I need to do is mix about half a cup of the powdered sugar of the 2 1/4 cups that I have into the egg whites, and then just kind of fold it in and then turn the mixer on. You want to get all that powder folded in first with your spatula. Get a little bit more space here, get my half a cup in. And then just take my spatula and mix it in real good. Just kind of fold it. I'm not like, you know, stirring it up, but I'm more like picking up the egg whites and then pushing it down. Just kind of like fold it in. That just keeps the powder from just flying everywhere when you turn the mixer on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the teaspoon of vanilla into my egg yolks and just kind of get that going. And then when I mix it all, it'll just mix it all together when I'm ready for it. And then I'm just going to put a pinch or a dash of salt into the egg yolks. Stir that up, and then it's going to mix in the mixer here in a little bit. At this point, I'm going to take the rest of the powdered sugar and dump it in. And then I'm going to add my egg yolks to that on top with the vanilla mixed in. Okay, and you just take the spatula and you fold this in with the egg yolks and the egg whites. You want to do a very good job folding this in because there's a lot of powdered sugar in here. And if I engage that mixer with the powdered sugar not folded in, it will blow a cloud of powdered sugar all over the kitchen. You want to mix that up to where you get a blend of the colors, so the yolk and the egg whites need to be mixed really well together to blend that color throughout. I got it on high. Now imagine if I didn't fold in the powdered sugar, what that would be doing now. Okay, that looks really, really good. We're going to add the powdered milk, and even this dried whey is very fine. And you can see the dust maybe kind of rising up from the bowl a little bit. So I got to fold that in. This also really thickens up the batter. So re-engage that, turn it on. Okay, that looks really good. Push that out of the way. We're not going to need the mixer anymore. Okay, so I got myself some quart-sized jars, some wide mouth, and what you do is you just basically pour it in and fill them up until they're full and then make it to the next one. You store this in the refrigerator. It needs to be refrigerated as long as you're using it. And it should last about a week. If it starts to separate in the fridge and it's still under a week and smells good, then just go ahead and stir it back up and it should be fine. So let me go ahead and put this funnel on, and then I'm going to start dropping it in. My favorite part of the Tom and Jerry, my wife and I like to mix it with coffee in the mornings, and it is delicious. Usually people use the Tom and Jerry mix for a nice alcoholic beverage during the Christmas season. It's very much like an eggnog. The alcohol that's preferred to be used with this batter is rum and brandy. I don't know if you guys drink alcohol. My wife and I don't usually, but we have made an exception to put a tablespoon of rum and brandy into our Tom and Jerry with our coffee, and it is very delicious. I'm not a drinker, and I don't generally drink at all, even social drink very much, but My friends convinced me to try it, and it was delicious. I have to give them credit for that. This is also a drink. I was looking into research on it, like, some of the history. I guess President Harding really liked this drink, and I'm wondering if it's because of President Harding that it kind of lost popularity, because President Harding was kind of scandalous, or could have easily faced impeachment because of his Secretary of the Interior, Fall, had corruptly taken bribes and allowed 2 oilmen to start drilling for oil in the Navy's reserves and protected site in Wyoming. And it was all coming to a head, and it was about his 3rd year, I think, as president. And he was traveling out there, and he traveled in Wyoming, and he was traveling up to Alaska, and he got to San Francisco and then had a heart attack in his hotel room in San Francisco. And, well, that ended his life as well as his presidency, and it pretty much was dropped from there. There we go. I got 1 3/4 quarts jars, and usually you take 2 tablespoons of batter. Really just add how much you like to taste. I've gone so much as 4 in a cup. And then I like to add it, like I said, to my coffee. So I usually put this in the cup first and then pour the hot coffee over it. And I'll show you how to do that probably tomorrow morning. Good morning.
Morning.
There's nothing like a Tom and Jerry with coffee in the morning.
Totally.
Especially for the holidays. Just having a Tom and Jerry during this time of year reminds us of some good times with our good friends and also with family. And so it's just a nice holiday drink to have. It just kind of, I don't know, just brings back a lot of good memories. Yeah. Tom and Jerry's don't regularly come with coffee. That's something I added to it. Usually it is just water. And then someone adds you add either a tablespoon of rum and a tablespoon of brandy to it, and mix it in with your hot water. And it's pretty good. But I really do prefer just straight coffee in there. The alcohol is optional. but it's
Mm-hmm.
it's good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to have it's kind of like an eggnog latte.
Mm-hmm. You can even add warm milk too if you want. That's really good too.
Mm-hmm. And so, what do you do? How do you just steam the milk or?
I just warm it up on the stove and
Mm-hmm.
get it to the temperature that I want, and then I add the tablespoons of Tom and Jerry batter mix, and
How do you keep from scalding the milk?
I just warm it up. I don't really boil it or anything like that, so you don't scald it.
Okay.
Yeah, just heat it up a little bit.
Okay. So we hope that you guys are enjoying your holiday seasons and you're finding your traditions or starting new traditions with your family and with your friends, and bringing back some good memories of good times, and also building some good memories for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, and have a Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Mm-hmm.